Steam Next Fest 2024 had a lot of demos, like way too many. There's no possible way I could have played all of them, but I did play a lot, almost 100 of them. I played a lot of good ones, a lot of weird ones, and a lot of games, I think. So I've decided to make this video where I show you 10 of them, 10 of the ones that I think are the best from the event, that I enjoyed the most, and that I think you should be watching out for as the year rolls on. First up is Pepper Grinder. This is a game being published by Devolver Digital and developed by REC, I think is how you say that. It's a very fast-moving platformer where the main mechanic is using a drill to go into sand and dirt and whatever to collect gems and beat up bugs and other enemies, and it feels so good to play. From the scratchy Newgrounds-esque pixel art that gives it this frenetic energy to the visuals, to the music and sound effects, everything in this game feels amazing. I cannot wait to play more of it. I cannot wait to find more secrets. I love this game. Another Devolver hit, congratulations to the huge indie publisher, is Children of the Sun. I'm a recent convert to the Church of Leaderboard Fiends, and Children of the Sun already feels like we're going to be singing its praises in the pews every Sunday. A puzzle game where you use a sniper rifle to pick off cult members, but you've only got one shot. And, you can control the bullet after it's shot. Your vantage point is kind of fixed on a trail, so you can only see so much of the arena you're about to rain hell upon, but that's what makes the puzzle so satisfying. You have to weave between enemies across this large space, past walls, behind a building. It's really fun. I think the aesthetic might make it a bit hard to stomach when you have to do it over and over again to beat your friend's score, but I know that for me, I'm going to be there day one. Hollowbody is PS2-era survival horror distilled, drenched in a tech-noir aesthetic with the kind of puzzle-solving and rewarding exploration you would come to expect from some of the best in the genre. But it's all being done by one person? The game is wearing its inspirations on its sleeve, but it also really seems to get what made them work. The brooding and tense atmosphere, letting your imagination scare you, surprisingly deductive puzzles, having a really good-looking menu. Look, survival horror is so hot right now, and if this can land the vibe it's presented in the demo for the entirety of its runtime, I think we're gonna have an all-timer on our hands. I have been waiting to play Pacific Drive since it was first announced, and this demo did not disappoint. A sci-fi survival road trip through the Pacific Northwest where your car is your companion. You can craft new parts to improve it and repair it and clean it. There's a radio with the perfect road trip music, and it's all very tactile. Everything takes a ton of steps and helps you grow a sense of attachment to this vehicle because of all the labor you've had to perform, literally, to keep it in good enough condition. As I said, it all takes place in the beautiful foresty areas of the Pacific Northwest, specifically the Olympic Peninsula. But there's something weird going on here. A secret agency performing science experiments, perhaps? Who's to say? The quickest summary I could come up with for Pacific Drive was the dune buggy sections from Half-Life 2, but that's the whole game. So if that sounds up your alley, I bet you'll like this a lot. Fragmented City was kind of the hidden gem of this Next Fest for me. I hadn't really heard anything about it, but upon scrolling through the list of available games, I saw a unique aesthetic with a cool title. That's usually enough to get me in the door. What I got was an immersive sim about a city full of bird people that are down on their luck and just looking for some help that I just loved. The demo starts with you needing to find a metro pass so you can go to another part of the city. But in your search, you make friends with a wide array of characters that all have interesting backstories and needs that you can fulfill by exploring and solving puzzles and getting to know more about this city and this world and these people. If you're a fan of the smaller metro areas of the Deus Ex series, but you didn't really jive with the aesthetic or just wished it was a bit more down to earth, I think you'd really enjoy this. It's really special. Look, I'm a sucker for card games. I've got like 1 million hours in Slay the Spire across all the platforms I own it on, and when I finally played Balatro, I got the sense that I might lose another million hours to this one. Balatro's a roguelike card game where instead of battling creatures, you're just trying to get a really high score. It's based around the rules of poker, which is unique for the genre. The better the hand, the higher your score. 2 pairs fine, but you can get a full house and maybe you're in heaven. And you can level up these hands to increase their multipliers and base score. You can use consumable cards with varying effects. And then there's these joker cards that act as your equipment. The art on them is really funny. And if you can find the right combos, that you can get these ridiculously high multipliers that result in huge numbers. Listen, look, I get it. Big number go brrr or whatever, right? But when the game launches on February 20th, I know I'm going to play entirely too much of it. Please help me. The team at Local Thunk are cooking with a full deck, and Balatro is definitely an ace. Euro Truck Simulator in space is how I would describe Star Trucker, a sci-fi take on the long-haul delivery simulators that seem to consume people's lives for months at a time before they snap out of it. And this one immediately feels like it belongs in the same conversation as some of the best. An amalgamation of American trucker culture and science fiction space capitalism that has you delivering goods across the galaxy. Star Trucker doesn't use the futuristic setting to ditch the palpable mechanics of its contemporaries. If anything, it leans in further. You still have to hitch your trailer to the chassis, do tricky reverse maneuvers to drop off your payload, and follow the rules of the road like a good little boy or risk getting fined. It's just all now presented with an added layer of cool Star Wars adjacent technology. Whoa, backup camera in the dash. That's so cool. It has everything you'd come to expect from this sort of thing, and it seems like the perfect companion to a Carl Sagan audiobook. For all my Tony Hawk's Pro Skater homies, Helskate is going to take over your life. A third-person skateboarding action roguelike is the kind of thing that a 2000s gamer has likely been dreaming of for a long time. You perform tricks like the good old days with simple button inputs, but on top of trying to get a high score with a long combo, you're also trying to beat all of the baddies in an area. You can mix these two styles of gameplay to maximize your score, and it's really satisfying when you get it to all come together. At first, this seems a bit like rubbing your head and patting your stomach, but if you give it enough time and let the skate tricks become second nature, you'll have no trouble grinding into a kickflip, into a series of Devil May Cry combos before landing into a manual, just like the Lord intended. Apart from the gameplay, Helskate captures the vibe of the Pro Skater series with its punk rock music, skater apparel you can use to customize your character and skate decks, and tons of things to collect and smash in every area. This is a really good mashup of some really good ideas, and it launches in early access February 15th. I'm not gonna act like I was part of the group of people who grew up with those text-based RPGs where you had to type north and look to interact with the world, but Cryptmaster definitely made me feel like I was. A first-person grid-based dungeon crawler where you control a party of the undead, but the way you interact with the world and enemies is by typing out words. Want to open a chest? Type out chest. Want to hit an enemy? Type out one of your attacks or spells, which are also words, and you find these abilities by playing a little 20 questions with the titular Cryptmaster.
Well, it's made of paper, so it tastes papery.
This character is such a fun idea, a sort of digital dungeon master that sees your survival as a game where he's the only one having any fun. Cryptmaster, the game, not this guy, takes a genre that's always sort of floated on the periphery of gaming, the first-person dungeon crawler, and puts a unique but classic spin on it.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the last one. Hauntii is one of those games that feels like you probably should have heard about it a million times already. It's an isometric adventure game about a ghost in the afterlife trying to figure out what's going on. You play as that ghost, and it turns out they have the unique ability to haunt things in the environment, which you can use to solve puzzles and find collectibles. That means possessing trees to shake down currency, taking over light posts to light up look at his little face, to light up areas and make them safe to traverse, and sometimes taking over other creatures to clear out enemies. Its two-tone visual presentation is super striking, with several moments of pure graphical and audible bliss, and just in general, this feels so inspired from basically every angle. Few games nail that feeling of quick, satisfying puzzle solving that Breath of the Wild gave with its Korok Seed challenges, and Hauntii is full to bursting with so many moments like that. There's a degree of polish and attention to detail here that is unmatched in so many things. I really cannot believe this is an indie game. And those were some of my favorites from this Steam Next Fest. We'll have links to all of them in the description so you can wishlist them, or if you're lucky, download the demos if they're still up. There were loads of games I didn't have the chance to check out or show in this video, so if there was something that you really enjoyed, let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep on gaming!